Hi guys, welcome back to Charmaine's Kitchen. Season greetings to you and your loved ones and everybody around you. Tonight I'm going to be baking my black cake and I want to share this recipe with you all. Every year I make black cake. Sometimes I make different one, non-alcohol one. So if you're looking for any black cake non-alcohol version, I have two of them on my channel. Please remember to check them out. Tonight black cake is gonna be a fruity one with some mixed fruits and some wine in there. So let's go ahead and make our black cake. You know, sometimes people soak their fruits for months and months and months. I remember my grandma used to soak her own fruits, and this is because whenever she picked her five finger or gooseberry to make her fruits in the summertime, it will be in season, and that's when she will make her fruits and soak it down with rum. So those who like their cake to be very heavy with rum, they usually soak their fruits months and months ahead. But today I'm gonna steam my fruits. This came in very handy for me when I moved to Canada and when I was very busy working and raising kids, and I will forget to soak fruits. This version came in so handy for me, and this was shared with me from a dear brother from my church, and I would like to share it with you because I know sometimes we're so busy we didn't have time to soak fruits, or we didn't have the time to grab those already soaked fruits from the store. So let's get down to it. To start the steaming process, I'm measuring all my fruits before I add it to the pot. I'm adding my currants first, and these are dried currants, so we really have to steam them until they're nice and soft and plumped with whatever alcohol or whatever non-alcohol juice you would like to add in there. I'm gonna add my raisins in here now. And what I like to do is add a little bit of prunes and a little bit of dates just to give it that nice stickiness and sweetness with the combination of the two. Dates is going into the pot. I really like the flavor of the dates. It gives the cake a really nice taste. Now I'm going to go in and add my prunes, and that will add a nice flavor as well. So I have here about 4 pounds of fruits. I'm gonna start steaming my fruits now with my beautiful fruity red wine, and it is nice and dark, so it's gonna give our cake a beautiful color as well. So in goes our red wine, and when I put my stove on, this is going to infuse into all the fruits and plump them up and make them nice and soft. Add enough wine just to be a little bit above the amount of fruits in the pot. Make sure to give it a little mix every now and then so the fruits can steam evenly. And set the temperature on your stove to be on medium to low heat just to let the fruits steam slowly. For my non-alcohol friends, you can also do this process with some grape juice, sorrel juice, or any non-alcohol wine of your choice. So our fruits is coming up nicely. They're getting plumped and soft. And that wine is really infusing into the fruits. I still have a little bit more to go when you're doing this process. You don't want to turn your stove up on high heat because you want it to take its time and soften those fruits very well. So I'm gonna let it go some more before I remove it from the heat. So my fruits is nice and plumped and soft. As you can see, when I put it at the side here and press it, it's breaking right into pieces. I'm gonna turn my stove off and let this rest a little before I start blending up my fruits. The fruits is not so hot anymore. It's really nice and soft, and you can smell the beautiful aroma of that fruity wine in here. I'm gonna add the fruits to my blender with a little bit more of wine and blend it into a nice chunky texture. I like to blend the fruits while it's still warm before it gets cold and clumpy. With a little bit more of wine, which will make it nice and moist and have a beautiful flavor. So this is the texture I'm looking for, not too smooth, not too chunky, but of course you can make it the way you prefer it best. I have one more batch to go, and then we're gonna start mixing the batter for this cake. So I just measure off my sugar, and I'm using nice fine brown sugar to make my black cake. You're gonna notice that this is a big batch of black cake that I'm making, but I'll leave the measurement for 1 pound of black cake in the description box below. While my husband is working on the batter, I'm gonna whisk up the eggs, and before I do so, I'm gonna grate some lime zest into here. Lemon zest can work, or a few pieces of dried orange peel can work to beat the eggs, and then you can remove them after. This will help to give the cake a nice flavor and remove any rankness from the eggs. When grating the lime zest, you don't need to go too deep. You just need the green part of it. It has a lot of flavor and a beautiful aroma for your cake. So I'm gonna nicely whisk this up to incorporate that nice lime zest into the egg. We're gonna go in with a little bit of egg, and then we're gonna add and mix again. So I'm gonna add all the eggs now. I add them in 2 batches, and then we're gonna mix away until all those sugar crystals are completely melted. Into the all-purpose flour, I'm adding the baking powder. And my husband is sifting the flour over the batter and then give it a good mix. So we're gonna add our batter into our fruits. Look at this beautiful fruits here, and we're gonna nicely fold it in while we're adding our spices, vanilla essence, and our cake browning. So I'm gonna go in with some grated nutmeg just before we mix everything together. I'm gonna add my vanilla essence along with some mixed essence. You don't have to add both. You can add one if you like. We're gonna add some mixed spices for cake, and it smells so nice. So now it's time for us to mix in all the spices, our essence, and all the fruits together with the batter until everything well and incorporate nicely. Along with all the beautiful fruits that I added, I'm gonna add 1 pound of Tandy's fruits from Guyana. I have 5-finger pineapple and cashew in here, and this one is nice and moist as well, but the more the merrier for this cake. If you're not a big fan of black cake, I also have a recipe for fruit cake, which is a lighter version of this one, and I also have a few recipes for sponge cake as well. I love all the cakes, but my favorite of all is black cake. So this is my favorite cake I'm making today. So the cake is looking spectacular, nice and fruity and rich, but now it's time for us to add our gravy browning, or our cake browning. I'm using the Irie brand, and this one is good for cakes, stews, and all your baking needs. So let's go in and add about 2 tablespoons. Remember not to add too much because it can get bitter if you add too much, and sometimes the cake will come out very black and not appetizing. So what I usually do is add and mix, and then eyeball the color and continue to add again. But I will leave all the measurement in my description box below. I already greased my pan to bake the cakes in, and I'm using these cookie can. Whenever I have a cookie can, I would keep it because they bake a perfect black cake. They're not too thick, and the cake will finish faster. Plus they have cover, so I don't have to empty them out. You can leave them in here as long as you wish, and if you're giving somebody one, it's perfect just to cover it up with the original cover, and it's a perfect gift to give someone. So I'm gonna start adding my mixture in there. And if you notice, I have the perfect color that I'm looking for here. I'm not gonna add more color. This is nice enough for me, and then we're gonna start filling these off. I already greased the pan with butter and flour, and I lined the bottom with parchment paper. And now it's time for us to put these in our 350-degree oven. We're gonna bake these for about 45 minutes to an hour. Or, because I'm doing smaller amount, I'll let you guys know when they finish. So I already have 4 pans filled out, and I still have this much left. My oven is ready. I'm gonna put those ones in, and then I'll see how many more I get with this remaining batch. And just like I mentioned, the cakes in the cookie cans are finished. Exactly 15 minutes. I have a rectangular pan of cake that is still going in the oven, and I have a bigger cookie can than this that needs maybe 5 more minutes. I'm gonna start putting my wine on top of these while they're still hot and let them soak in nicely. The cake smells so good. Oh my goodness. Very nice. They're hot, hot, hot and soft. So we're gonna put a few, see how clear it came out? A few holes on the side. Middle is already cracked open, so we're good to add our wine, and I'm gonna pour a little bit at a time. If you don't like too much wine, you can add less. I usually soak mine now, and I'll soak it back tomorrow in the morning. If you're giving kids this cake, you can surely leave 1 pan free, and you don't have to add the wine. The rectangular cake came out very nicely. It's early in the morning, and I didn't have anyone to do my video, so I ended up cutting this one up to share, and I didn't get to show how it looks on the inside. I have a birthday shout out for my brother, my Baya, my pilot friend, one of the biggest YouTube supporter internationally, Riza. Happy birthday, my brother. We wish you many, many more birthdays to come. And also, happy birthday goes out to your nephew, Aiden, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. So guys, here is the moment we're waiting for. This is my black cake, and I didn't cut it right away. I let it sit and let the wine soak into this cake. I always put a piece of parchment paper on the bottom so we can get a smooth, nice finish like this. And now is the moment we are waiting for. It is moist, as you can see. Ooh la la. And when I'm serving black cake, I like to serve a little because it's rich, and it is a cake that you want to eat small piece at a time to really enjoy the flavor. I'm thinking to go triangle or square. Triangle or square? Triangle. So I'm going to do small, tiny pieces because I want to save this cake to last me into the new year. And here is my finished black cake, nice and moist and rich and very decadent and delicious looking for the Christmas holiday. Now I'm gonna sit down to have a piece with my family, and I can't wait. It smells so inviting. And while I was cutting it, I can tell that it is moist. As you guys can see, the perfect color and everything. So let me sit down with a warm cup of tea and dig in for you all. And here it is. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you already make your black cake, and if you didn't, I have mixed fruit black cake recipe on my channel. I have non-alcohol, I have sorrel black cake, I have grape juice black cake, so many recipes. So please feel free to check them out and bake yourself a nice homemade black cake this Christmas and surprise all your loved ones and friends. So this cake is so nice and moist because of all the fruits I add in there. And of course the wine. Cheers, guys. My mouth feel like Christmas in there. It is moist, it is flavorful, it is so rich. Oh my gosh. With my nice warm cup of tea. I just came home from church. This is gonna go so well with some ginger beer or your sorrel drink, or even a nice cup of tea because the weather is cold. So guys, my last bite for you. I don't want to bite it because it's gonna get stick in my teeth. And I'm gonna go. My husband is patiently waiting on me for his piece like a kid. So I want to go and sit down and enjoy my cake with him. Take care. God bless. I still have more holiday recipe to share. So stay tuned. Until then, stay warm and blessed. Bye for now.